Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes with the guys today. Hello, guys. How are you?
Hey, Sybil.
No, maybe we didn't have sound for a moment. Oh, he's all right. Thank you, Damon. Damon, how are you?
Doing well, doing great.
Did you have
Glad
a
to be
good
home.
holiday weekend?
I had a eventful weekend.
I know
I
you
was all
did.
over the place. So Friday, my girl cousin Tiara did riddles, sold it out. She was bananas. Saturday was the farewell tour with the Mays and OJs and the
Oh, yeah.
Whispers.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
and
gosh.
then right, and then Sunday I went to St. Louis for something called Smokes and Jokes, and it was a cannabis infused event. Everything had cannabis. The seltzer water, the candy, the cupcakes, the popcorn. I didn't do none of that, but it was outside in like a big top tent, and it was raining. We had thunderstorm, tornado warning right before the show, and I'm like, well, I'm not going. And then then that passed, and I went. It was just damp, but we had a fun time. So yeah, that was my weekend in a nutshell.
That's a lot.
Nice,
That is a
nice.
lot.
It is.
Top that, big man.
Um, this weekend, what did I do? I
When you have a
yo
weekend, you're like,
look,
what
look.
happened?
It was one of those things where I had a plan, and the plan didn't go the way I exactly wanted it to go. I did yard work. Uh, I had to go grab some supplies, and ran out of some things, so I had to go kind of re up on the yard work stuff. And I spent a good 2 hours outside, cutting grass and edging hedges and all this other stuff. Just doing
Yeah.
stuff that
You were doing household chores.
household chores that I hadn't done. Like I've been cutting the grass, but I've been just trying not to the other stuff. I'm just cut the grass and it looks all right. And it's like once you edge and once you like trim, I'm like,
Yeah,
that looks a whole lot better. You can't
yeah,
get a little
yeah.
pride to
You
yourself. Like,
slipping.
oh, dog.
You slipping if you don't edge up, man.
Right. I was like, let me just cut and be good. Nah, I went the whole, did everything this weekend. Then I had to buy a grill. Okay, I'm a professor, everything.
Ah,
Everybody, I don't like grilling. I'm not a big fan of
oh, wow.
like myself grilling. I'll go to somebody else who will grill. But
Uh-huh.
me personally, I don't really like it because it's like you put it on the grill and you're just kind of sitting and waiting and hoping that everything cooks properly and everything. It doesn't overcook and it's not too hot. There's not too many hot spots. I don't like the science of it all because it's just I just want to cook it and be done with it. Like put it in the oven and know at a time it's over.
Oh,
But
you don't want to have to open and flip
clothes
and
check and
check
and
meat
then
temperature.
my wife loves grilled food. She's like, well, you haven't grilled in two. I'm like, yeah, there's a reason. I've been haven't wanted to, but because you're like, all right, I'll go get this grill and got a grill, started grill
Did you
this
get a
weekend.
gas grill? Did you get
No, charcoal.
okay.
We got to
Yeah.
do charcoal. Got to get that char flavor to it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Yeah.
grilled, and then like it was funny because like my first wings that came out, I temped them. It was like 165. They good, but they just didn't have the right color to them. So I had to put them even in there. I don't like the science, man. I don't like the science, but it all worked out. The food came out pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. But I just don't like the process
Too bad you
whatsoever.
don't live here. If you lived here,
Okay.
you could have said, "No, baby, because the cicadas are out there. We can't grill today."
They're all having sex. Them things are still around. Like they still are they heavy. And it's like worse now. I'm like, I thought they'd be done by now, but no, they still screwing and
Well, they
dying.
don't, they don't
So
all
okay.
come out at the same time. The freaks don't always come out at
Right.
night or
It's
at
like
the same
waves. It's like
time.
waves of it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And like
yeah,
Yeah.
Tennessee
Every
getting
20
theirs
minutes
right
breaks.
now. This
yeah.
is
The
man.
17-year cicadas, and then we have to wait a little bit for the 13-year cicadas, and
Yeah.
to catch up with you.
The 13-year ones are spreading. They in Tennessee now, I heard. So
Right, right, right.
yeah.
Because I haven't heard any reports here in Texas, but
Cause I used to see flamethrowers in Texas when it came to
well,
cicadas and stuff
well,
like that.
yeah.
I was
But I don't want to speak too soon because next thing you
right.
know, they'll just scoop up with a tornado and land in our yards.
How
So
y'all doing? Because one of my
Yeah.
hosts of my morning show was out in Dallas this weekend, and she was like, "I'm lucky to get out today, but it's
yeah,
been a wild time in Texas when
it
it comes
has
to these
been
storms."
it has been a really ugly time, and we'll talk about the weather because we have been very fortunate just in this particular section of Fort Worth, but a lot of people have suffered, lives have been lost, and it's been a very scary time for a lot of people. And still, tens of thousands of people are without power today. So, and
Mm.
as I said, we'll
Mm.
talk about that. Cameron,
Wow.
how's your weekend? What's going on with you?
Oh, my weekend was pretty mild, surprisingly so. Usually, people in my neck of the woods will pop firecrackers from Thursday till Tuesday, but it was really eerily quiet. I'm thankful for it. We live right across the street from a park, and usually people were out there, grilling with and picnicking. Wasn't any of that going on. I'm
None
I'm
of
thankful
that.
for it.
Wow.
No, I'm cool with it. I just just caught up on some video games and got some exercise.
Wow. Well, I went to Yolanda's family reunion this weekend, and there were a lot of folks out in the parks, and the barbecue was excellent. And it's just fun to say. And it was, I mean, her family really showed up and showed out. They, generations, and her great grandparents would be very, very proud of the way they did came together and had this wonderful tribute to the legacy of Miss Kitty and Mr. Freely.
What
Uh,
color were
Wow.
the shirts?
so that's the thing. That's the thing. There were no shirts.
Where's Yogi? We need to talk to Yogi right now. Yogi, come on from the back, Yogi. Come on from the back, Yogi. No. Where's Yogi at?
You're not the first person to ask, and I was like, there were no.
I demand to see Yogi right now on the screen.
And they had
Yogi.
a tremendous tree, family tree, and no shirts.
That's how you
Yogi.
keep confusion
There she
down.
is. Nah.
Somebody always don't
Yogi
have their
is
money
not
for their shirt.
available. Yogi is not available today.
Hmm.
But we have this thing with our family.
Yes.
Well, I do, and I'm putting it on my family. We don't have to dress alike. We don't do themes. We don't do colors. We don't do concept. None of that. We just showing up. We don't all have to walk the same way, talk the same way, do it. We ain't doing all of that. But it was great. Thank you, man.
I know, man. I know.
That's how we did. That's how we did differentiate. The black family reunions from the white ones.
Yeah.
He said we have to be color coordinated and t-shirt out with a family theme on the shirts.
And
Yogi.
this family is definitely representing the different
and it's huge,
hues.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The different hues and all of that.
Yes.
They were representative, but no t-shirts.
They were trying to keep the confusion down. Somebody always don't have their shirt money. And whoever did the shirts is like, look, I done came out my pocket already. Y'all need to turn in your shirt money.
Thank you, Damon. That's right. Thank you.
No dollars, no shirts.
No shirts, man.
That's right.
Damon, it took everything we had to get people to contribute to that barbecue. So,
Exactly. Somebody ain't got the money for their room. Somebody ain't got the money for their flight.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So that was a fun time, and all of the events managed to just get in and escape all the horrible weather that came through this area. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and
Wow.
That's
that as
great.
well. Yeah, it was tremendous.
Yeah.
So it was really good. Let us talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter. We endeavor to super serve the African American communities, as well as others who are interested in being informed and empowered. And we cover a number of different topics, including politics, as young Khameron does. His sister is Quinn. She covers the LGBTQIA plus community. Coy Malone is our social justice contributor, and Aprilette Russell handles mental health and wellness. Khameron, we had, for the first time since 2008, the White House welcomed an African nation, and leading the way, leading the talks with the continent of Africa is the vice president. She has been very proactive in her work with African nations, and especially a lot of people are pointing to her as to how this great White House social occasion came about.
Yeah, this is very much the vice president of the diaspora. Kamala Harris has been made responsible, not so much officially, but definitely in all of her meetings and correspondence. She's responsible for United States relationships with the Caribbean. She's also responsible for the United States partnerships with United States interests in Africa. And that is a momentous task of just like foreign policy And she had recently just made the announcement, debuted plans to get all of Africa online with accessible high-speed internet from 40% to 80% by the year 2030.
That's like 5 years. Let's do the math here. That's a lot of work and a lot of connecting in 5 years. That's pretty ambitious.
Yeah. In government years, that's like tomorrow. So very ambitious indeed. And for those of you all who are wondering, no, this isn't like, Terrence Howard going to Rwanda saying that he invented a new way of flight or something like that. No, this is a concrete plan built by local coalitions and with an investment of over $1 billion. So there's already money backing this. And it's got huge international implications. China, Russia, China, the United States are already trying to see who gets the lion's share of Africa. So to speak, the majority of Africa's population is around the age of 19. Africans' median age is 19. So most people in Africa are like 19 years old. And people consider that as like a part of the budding global economy. Connecting people online will get them access to jobs, to improve their way of life, and get them access to more information to better improve their way.
Explain that part, Khameron, about the farming initiative.
Yes. So there is a I'm not like the biggest expert on agriculture. I'm trying to learn more about it because climate change. But with regards to African ownership of land and how they go about leveraging their goods internationally and being able to compete in that international market is also heavily dependent on technological access as well. So getting more African people, I should say, into the digital age is critically important to just like the health of all of us. There's a lot of things that I feel are a bit testy here. I think that first, just to make these claims in an election year presumes a lot. It presumes that the average voter, cares about this, and there's just like a lot of Black people's political affiliations have just been divided like split hairs over the past 4 years. Also, this puts us just like even more direct competition with China and Russia.
Yeah. And they made tremendous headway. God bless you. Made tremendous headway. Russian country, the country of Russia, and all of China. You often see the conversation about Chinese going in and going after the natural resources that many of these African nations that are so plentiful, and wondering where are we in all of this? Does it help to have a sister who is the vice president to kind of get a leg up on the competition there, or do you think that's just kind of like she's
right? And like that's my other point too, is that if it only took $1 billion to jumpstart this, America's got billions. So what exactly were we waiting for to help Africa in the first place? But I'm here for it. I think that Kamala Harris has garnered has earned a really strong resume. If she wasn't qualified before, she certainly is now. And I would love to see this through.
Lord,
I hope so. Yes, David.
I think it's going to be kind of interesting, though. Hopefully, it goes the way you envision it, Cam, because I see a lot of internet going across Africa, creating more TikTok videos than fake Gucci kids and fake Gucci doing TikTok videos.
Yeah,
the internet has not been great to society in all its forms.
I don't exactly see them doing TikTok dances in the farmland, but
not before, but once they see it on the internet, I'm telling you, it's gonna ruin the work ethic.
He's so silly. One of the other articles Khameron has talked about is the fact that we are sharing too much of our information about our children on social media, which could be to our detriment and certainly to our children. Talk
Yeah.
about that, about the parenting.
Yeah, they call it, and this is like a Harvard law professor as they. So they call it a sharenting.
Parenting.
I put in quotes grand sharenting because we love posting our grandbabies. And there's also just like a lot of Black grandparents in particular taking care of people's kids. So that's why I put grand sharenting. But sharenting really just means sharing and parenting, and it describes the process where caregivers post children online. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we all want to share our adorable children doing great things, but what people need to be conscious of is that you're creating a digital profile of that child before that child has a chance to choose how they present themselves online, which can make them susceptible to cyberbullying, which can compromise their personal info. If you post your child and their full name,
their birth date, all of that information.
Right. And so the scammer automatically has their full name and their birthday and probably the city where they live.
Right. Already.
And then they can open up a credit card in their name, just like that if they happen to go through your trash. And also, I didn't know this, but a lot of social media platforms use child's faces to train facial recognition software because the child can't consent. So as the summertime's coming and we're out experiencing our families and we're posting all the ridiculous things that they do, just take a scope of the area and say, hey, is there anything around here that might compromise my loved one's identity? Would they be okay with this living forever online? They probably won't. And then also, are they in the bathtub, compromised in any way? And then what a lot of people are doing now, if you're hosting a gathering with people whose social media intentions you don't know, just ban cell phones.
Wow. I don't think that's going to happen, and nor do I think that TikTok's going to go away. But it's really interesting. I know that I don't have location sharing on mine. I think that's one thing but as far as, because the people will give, baby so-and-so was born last Friday and he is, 27 inches long. He came in at 6 pounds and 6 ounces. And given the whole name,
and the location of the photo is this hospital, and you're like, okay, say more.
Yeah, exactly. We don't think about those things, but certainly it is something to consider when we do. If we are any way in trying to share or trying to help to prevent too much sharing going on. And there used to be the joke, Damon, I don't know if this is still true, about parents taking their kids' names and putting the family utilities in the kids' name.
Right.
But certainly,
imagine going to put the light bill in your kid's name and somebody beats you to it, though.
Right.
You'll be mad as hell.
Exactly right.
But also another tip is not going live, because you can't edit live, and live stays up if you allow, or people can screenshot and record your live. So you should always record it first and then wait till you've probably left that location so that people can't instantly track you on where you are, because you never know who's trying to stalk you in that way. So not going live is a big thing for me.
Med, as a parent, do you have that concern of sharing too much about your kid?
I really don't share too much about anything personal online. I went nuts when he was born. I went nuts. I think the world saw him before his mother did. Like because what happened was, she gave birth and they gave me him. And it said, hey, we're going to, make sure she's all good. Like she saw him real quick. And then, I had him. You
whisked him away before
the camera. So I'm in the waiting room with this child that is mine. And I'm just sitting there like, I got a baby and he's mine. This is like my kid. This is crazy. There's no family. I'm just sitting in this room by myself with him in my arm, and I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. I'm like, I got my phone. Let's go. I got a phone call. Hey, maybe you should give him a second to start breathing on his own. I was like, they left me in this room for like 45 minutes by myself with this baby. I was just like, I didn't know what to do with him other than just like, hey, we here. Mommy should be here soon. Want to go live? You know what I'm saying? Picture, what do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Let's go. You know, I got a little too excited. But like since then, like honestly, it's milestones, birthdays, you know, the normal stuff. First day of school. Oh yeah, first day of school. Don't post them placards with this teacher's name and school and stuff. All that. Yeah. That's dumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
Unless you got an ugly kid.
Go for it.
Go for it all day.
No one cares.
But yeah, but I don't post nothing about nothing. Honestly, if we do a trip, we usually post everything about the trip when we get back. Mm-hmm. And you know, so it's like people don't know when people won't know when we're gone or not. Because I post vacation trips when we get back. So yeah. So
there's all of those tips that are necessary for us to stay safe, for our kids to stay safe. Let's move to the what's really going on question. And those are, I should say, before we go to the question, those are examples of stories that Khameron contributes to the What You Need to Know newsletter, as well as I said, Coy as our social justice contributor. Quinn is LGBTQIA+, and Aprilette is mental health and wellness. And they do really good jobs at that. What's really going on? Our question of the day. This came about as a part of a discussion. Who's that one person in your family or your friend group that you would give any excuse not to share a meal or to hang out with them? There's that one person you're like, man, I'll give you an example. We were looking on social media, and Brian McKnight is catching hell because of the stupidity that he has expressed about his children, right? Yeah. And so they had tickets. They were promoting tickets going on sale. I think it was in DC. And it was like a whole pages and pages and pages of posts, people saying what they'd rather do than to buy a ticket to a Brian McKnight concert.
Wow.
They are so done with him. They are so, I mean, you know, the stupidity, the ignorance, the hatred that he has expressed for his children. Not the newest babies, but his older children from his previous wife and relationships. Just horrific, the things. And so people are, you know, coming after him for all of this. Like, yep, I'm waiting. I got to shampoo my carpet that night. And, you know,
getting a root canal.
Right. On all four at one time.
Right. Yeah. Pulling all my wisdom teeth.
I'm doing
myself. With a wrench.
But you know what? His kid's mom is so gracious and articulate about this. She posted something. She eventually had to respond to all of this stuff. And it was such a thoughtful statement that I shared it with other people because she is so chill. She's like, let God can handle him because he is a butthole.
Yeah.
That is, it's just crazy. And even when Tyrese tried to protect him,
Tyrese, you go stand over there.
Right, and I'm gonna go back to my chemo. I'm like, my man's in chemo, and his dad talking crazy about it. I'm like, this is wild.
Yeah,
wild times.
One of the kids, Nico, I believe, is undergoing cancer treatment.
Yeah,
and so it is. But so who or what is that family member, and what's the excuse that you would give rather than engaging with them?
I'm not gonna put that out on live.
Well, maybe
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
Yeah, I mean, I would always.
Well, I'll share with you. Hang on one second, Khameron, and I'll share with you. One gentleman said he's going to his GED reunion. My cat has prom that day.
Man.
I think I'm walking my refrigerator that night.
Gotcha. Yeah, twice a day. Yeah.
I'm having my plants neutered.
How do you do that? How do you do
those
that?
Those frisky
The
guys.
frizzy- yeah.
I'm looking for a friend to help move. I'm not moving. I'm looking for a friend who needs a helper.
Yeah.
I'm counting the sand at the beach. I'll stop by when I'm done.
Necessary task.
I would go, but I'm waiting on Christ to return.
That is good.
Next time.
No, I know, but I mean, like I got family members who are argumentative,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just like, you know, like one time I had one of my friends came over when I was younger because this family member was visiting us, and I told him on purpose, I'm like, look, whatever they say, just agree so we can leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna introduce you to them and everything like that. But if a conversation starts, just be like, hey, I hear you. So we can go.
Yeah.
Right.
So they made a statement. They made a statement, and I like stopped in my track. And I'm like, if he follows directions, we can get out of here. And he said, well, I kind of disagree with that because I'm like,
Here we go.
yo, what are you doing? I was like,
2 hours
and
later.
so I sat down knowing I ain't going nowhere because this person, my family member, was like, what do you mean you disagree? There's only one right answer here. And then boom, boom, boom. I'm like, hey.
I told you.
I'm gonna sit over here and wait for you. I'll let you finish this because we ain't going nowhere anytime soon, sir. Because I told your ass.
Right.
Don't say anything. And so I was just like, man, let's go. So that person would be somebody where I'm like, I can find some things else to do. I can do that.
I have some better responses, but I need to save them in case I really need to use them. I'm not about to give away my good alibi right now.
Well, check this out. My neighbor just tried a new paint, and well, I volunteered to watch it dry.
Wow.
Good. That's
Cameron?
good.
Cameron, what you think?
I see extended family members infrequently enough where I wouldn't mind grabbing a meal with any of them, so they don't get too annoying too fast.
Uh-huh.
But I can name a friend or two that I would always flake on any day of the week.
And do you give good excuses, or you just say, no, I'm not available?
No, this one person I had to like confront because they were the kind of person, and I feel like we all know this person when they're in a relationship, you like never hear from them.
Right.
Because they're just like interwoven with their partners.
intertwined.
Yeah, but then when they're out of a relationship, they're like all in your face. And I'm like, that we can't have that kind of dynamic. And so when I recently hung out with this person, they were on the phone with their boyfriend the whole time. And I was like, am I just like,
and you're like, I thought we were dating. No, I'm kidding.
am I just like part of the scenery?
Right.
So
yeah, I'm just here.
And tell me, how did she respond?
Gaslighting at first, like, I don't act this way. I'm like, it's all right. You go into exile for a little while, and then when you come back, you will realize that this is who you are.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yolanda, I don't know if we have people who have responses. Yes, we do. Manuel Murphy. Me, I just don't show up and hope I'm not asked why I didn't show up. That's pretty. Manuel, that you don't need anything more than that. Just don't show up and hope that they don't say anything. Right? It's just like, me, I'm just not going to show up.
Your absence is your excuse.
Z Walker on Facebook says the sperm donor, the baby daddy, worst one night stand that lasted 10 years. The names that I dare not say, that one. Okay, enough said.
Hey.
That's his whole like malevolent
Hey, but I'll give you this. The one night stand that lasted 10 years, does that mean that he's still in the child's life? So that's pretty good, huh? What?
No, his presence has lasted for 10 years.
Oh, got you. Okay.
The specter.
The child is just now.
What is it? Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. I was trying to find a silver lining.
Well, that was nice of you. That was nice of you.
No problem.
Yeah. I got to braid my scalp that day. I'll catch him next time.
Braid my scalp.
Or I got to mop my roof that day. Darn it.
Hey, nothing more difficult than mopping your roof and washing your walls. I got to give my cat a sponge bath.
Try that.
How about that one?
Yeah, I'm walking my shark that day.
Okay. Midnight Rider on YouTube says that's the night I'm supposed to sit in for Yolanda Starks White. Okay.
And
all right.
And where were you when we did that? And where were you?
I missed that night. Yeah. Sure. I'm cutting my grass with scissors that night. My neighbor's grass also. Let's see. I'd rather watch Dahmer, Passion of the Christ, and Them season 1 in rotation than to go to a Brian McKnight concert.
Golly.
Yeah. Woo!
Yeesh.
Wow.
That's okay.
Talk about career suicide,
Man.
Brian. Brian McKnight was one of them artists that was supposed to, forever. One of those forever artists that's gonna be
timeless,
booked and busy for the
Yeah.
rest of his life until he said, "I'm done singing." And he absolutely killed his career over just some silly. You know what? I don't know what the other side of the story. I don't know
Right.
what it is.
Right.
But I can tell you this: it's not worth this. It
Right.
ain't worth this.
And how do you
Ain't
come
worth
back? I mean, you don't go back to 1, you go back to negative. Right?
Right.
It's because
Yeah.
that is, I mean, people.
Oh, the negative one.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
that guy. Okay.
There you go, Cameron.
Yeah, I didn't want to ask out loud. Yeah.
That's even better. That he's irrelevant. Yeah.
Can my ticket cost go directly to his first set of children? Okay.
Yes,
Hey,
yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Donations do work.
I'll be busy boycotting stores I never shopped at in the first place and eating a denim jacket after that. Wow.
That's a tough meal right there.
Clothing, oh man.
Full of
And
fiber.
going in and coming out.
Yeah.
This is
Clothing on YouTube said I'd rather go to the DMV without an appointment than go see Brian McKnight.
No.
Wow.
No.
That's a long day right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Very long day.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Trying to kill your belief in your.
Wait, you can
country.
make appointments for the DMV?
Yeah.
You sure can now.
You should.
I just realized when I said, wait, you can make an appointment?
Well, you can in some places. You might want to check at the GA
Look here.
motor vehicles.
In
Try to get-
Illinois, they say don't come unless
Without.
you have an
Yeah.
appointment, sir.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Unless you know the security guard. Always works for me.
Right. My man.
Hey, Cam, I got the plug for the DMV if you ever need one. In and out, trust me.
One lady on Facebook said, "I'll be with my kids, unlike you." Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
No. He's with the ones he likes.
but for how long?
The second batch.
Okay. Well, they say the second batch. Never mind.
You know
Okay.
what?
Okay.
Came up when he liked him.
Man, oh man. I can't think of anybody. I guess just not answering the phone would be a good start. I don't know what you would do. And
I think my thing is, if I don't want to be around you that much, you cannot be part of my friend group.
right.
Yeah, I was like that. That's the thing. If I feel like I have to avoid you, that I don't want to be around you that badly, like instead of going to a Brian McKnight show, there's no way you're a part of my friend group at all. I just don't have enough time to be that disinterested in somebody,
Right.
then try to entertain them at all ever in my life, like that.
Emotional labor. Yeah.
Yeah, goodness.
Karen Talley said, "I twisted my ankles running to this comment section. Both of them. Got to take my fish for a walk, and the other one drowned because it wasn't strong enough to doggy paddle." Oh God.
Wow.
Well, thank you for participating. We appreciate that. Let's move to trending comments, and definitely let's start out with Damon. You had a very exciting weekend. What do you have coming up next?
This weekend I'm at the Richmond Funny Bone Friday and Saturday. Richmond Funny Bone. Then I'm in Bellevue, somewhere in Michigan, near Detroit, with my man Mike Larry. So it's all on my socials or at DamonWilliamsComedy.com. Check it out. And this weekend at Riddles, my man Famo, everything is $10. It's a $10 extravaganza holla this weekend at Riddles.
Okay.
That's a
Yeah,
deal. That's a. Do
yep,
you
it
do
really
big
is.
business on Memorial Day weekend? Is that a big time for you guys? The holiday?
No, normally it's not, but that's why we did cousin Tierra. It's an annual now for her because
Oh,
her
good.
her home following is so strong. So I locked her in for the annual so that we can
Nice.
both prosper. She can be home for the weekend, and the club will be full. So
Right.
thank you, Cuzzo.
Okay. Okay. Cameron, what about you? What's going on in your world?
Ooh, the other day I had a bunch of middle schoolers like make up, um, business proposals and business plans, as a part of like a college tour.
Hmm.
And one group of students created like a 40-foot safe, um, that when breached fires a laser at you, and then from your phone you can set how severe you want this laser to be, whether it be to stun
God.
or otherwise.
Incinerate.
Yes, and then you this safe, they it 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 comes in like a house size. There's also a safe that could like fit in your car
It's like
size.
a Scrooge McDuck
Uh,
size vault. I like that.
yeah,
Where you can
yeah.
swim in the money. I like that.
Right. Yeah. And we're like, oh,
Diving.
okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. And then I asked them, I was like, are you all into like other different laser based solutions? And they're like, yeah, we got you handled on like the laser stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I was playing the role of like a Shark Tank, and they were pitching me their ideas. Yeah.
And
I like that. You
yeah,
can never have too many
very
lasers when
cool.
it comes to defense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never.
Okay. Wow. That's powerful. And Med, what do you have going on in your world? Is it still soccer season?
Oh no, we're done with that. That terrible ass league. I will never be part of the I-9 again. You just said it. I-9 is God awful. Anyways, more so morning hustle stuff. We just hired a new digital producer. I'm excited about that.
Oh, cool.
So the full team is now in place. We're closing out the mental health awareness month with Dr. Aldewan Tart. He'll be joining us on Friday. Next month is very busy. We got birthday bash coming up at the end of June. Then we have BET Awards. Both Kyle and L'Oreal will be out in LA for that. Access to what we don't know yet, but we'll figure it out.
Hey, you just free.
Hey, shout out to BT. You never know. And
I think that's your new slogan.
yeah, you never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. And we have Tasha Smith joining us next week to talk about Bad Boys, because she replaced the lady who played Martin's wife.
Right.
So she's in the new Bad Boys movie. So she'll be joining us.
There's a new Bad Boys movie.
Yeah, you haven't seen? You haven't seen all
the
marketing?
Oh my God.
I just saw Jimmy Butler in a commercial that's like wild. It's almost like a separate movie by itself that they did with Jimmy Butler, I
thought they were done after Bad Boys for Life. No.
Bad Boys to Death. Bad Boys to Death. And they're doing a great job. They're doing a great job marketing it. So we're excited to have Miss Tasha Smith join us next weekend.
She's brilliant.
I love her.
Not only a great actress, but she's a very good director too.
Yes, and she's booked and busy all the time. So that's what's going on over here on the Morning Hustle show.
And you are hustling. Okay, good.
One quick note, my man Gary G. Thing Johnston, his special drops on the All Black Network on the 30th, and I'm a writer, and actually I'm also the announcer that brings him on stage. So that'll be out.
Cool.
Yeah, and All Black has a 7-day free trial, so you can just go on and watch it and then untrial.
Those count.
What else I found out recently that people say you should get a gift card, a Visa gift card with a limited amount on it to use for all your free trials, so you don't have to worry about canceling.
Oh, and then when they ask for that credit card number. Oh.
That's amazing.
That
is amazing. Boom.
There you go, people. You got that nugget for free.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah. New gift card, new email address, and then okay.
Oh, there
you go.
You could do some things with that.
That's
That's
right.
diabolical.
That's nice. That's nice work there.
That makes so much
As
sense.
we mentioned earlier, fierce storms over pretty much the Midwest, the South to the east of the country this weekend, uprooting trees, overturning semi trucks, damaging buildings, knocking out power to thousands. The latest outbreak of severe weather to hit the central U.S. following a series of deadly storms that killed at least 22 people over the holiday weekend. At least 8 people died in Arkansas, 7 in Texas, including 2 children, 5 in Kentucky, and 2 in Oklahoma amid the tornadoes that tore across the communities. And check this out. There is video of an American Airlines plane at DFW that was the wind was so strong it turned the plane over on its side.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah.
That's how severe it was.
That's crazy, man.
When I tell you how lucky we are, we had some brownouts, where the power just goes, but then it comes right back on. There was a lot of that that we had in our community, but nothing the likes of which some people are still without power. Today is runoff election day. A lot of the polling places are
Oh
closed because
no.
they don't have power. A lot of schools are
Wow.
closed because they don't have power. And just think about the people in the hospital or those at home that need the power for the pieces of equipment
Machines. Yeah.
to keep them breathing and living. Um, it's been without more than 800,000 homes and businesses across north central Texas without power today, as another 2.5 inches of rain. Not so much rain as we did have trees just knocked down, and don't even talk about the mobile home parks and things like that.
Yeah.
Most of the outages about, but some up to 800,000, but still several hundred thousand with still in the dark today, and the winds 70 to 80 miles an hour. And there was one, and this sounds like something Yolanda and I might find ourselves in. 2 women coming back from a concert and they drove right into a tornado. And what do you do? Where do you go? It's pitch black, nothing but things are coming at you. What do? They tell you to get into a ditch or something. And what they did is they stopped the car and they got into the back seat on the floor and just cowered there. And luckily they were not swept away in the car, but they did, see. It's frightening. I mean, you think about the Wizard of Oz, you think about tornadoes and all of those movies and stuff, but it's more than an ocean to see the after effects of trees and in this area, trees that are tens and 100 years old and that kind of stability and just totally uprooted and into a structure or a facility.
So Sybil, this was actually, could we mention this? We talked about this today on the show. And what was brought up was Dubai.
Oh, right.
What was brought up was Dubai. And for people that don't know, like Dubai kind of controls the weather a little bit. They play with it a little bit when it comes to seeding the clouds and things of that nature. It's kind of trippy of what they do over there, to the point where they kind of lost control.
They did.
And
they came back to bite them.
And Cameron, you didn't see this?
No.
Oh, man, it was crazy.
That was nuts. And so at first I thought this is CGI. Then I saw some other videos. I'm like, oh, this is real. So Dubai somehow plays with the weather a little bit, to the point where it had some crazy tornado. I'm like, stuff you don't see out there.
And the kind of flooding
that I'm like, where'd this come from? You know what I'm saying? Out in the desert.
Boats and cars and what have you, just floating along.
It's crazy.
Oh wow, this is very real.
Right, and so today's show, they brought up with the weird, like this is kind of weird, amount of tornadoes, amount of crazy weather. Could something like what happened in Dubai be happening here, where somebody is kind of playing God and playing with the weather? And I was just like, that was just a very interesting take, because I didn't think that was even possible until I saw what happened in Dubai. And I'm like, could it possibly be happening here?
Well, it's more just like the rapid increase in temperatures and the rapid drop in temperatures. Imagine nature is like gambling with tornado season. and the rapid increase in temperatures and the rapid decrease in temperatures decides how many dice nature can throw at us during tornado season. And so the dice is just like cocked now because of the rapid fluctuation in temperatures. And scientists are kind of on the fence of whether or not it increases frequency or it increases severity, but it does heavily influence, just like tornado season.
Yeah, it's just been extra aggressive this year. That's all.
And
Just like
the
extra
people
aggressive.
that normally don't face tornadoes, tornadoes in Florida and places like that, they're used to the hurricane winds, and preparing for them to come.
That's
Right.
August, end of August, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right,
end of August. Yep.
Yeah, but this is a whole different. Well, tornado Trump may be coming to an end as the closing arguments were made in the Trump hush money trial today. The prosecutors and defense lawyers spent all day delivering their closing arguments. The defense, in addressing the jury, defense being Donald Trump's lawyers, attacked the foundational premises of the case, arguing that the prosecution's star witness, that would be Michael Cohen and or Stormy Daniels, told lies on the stand and cannot be trusted. And the Biden campaign came with it today. They sent their emissaries to the courthouse and to Robert De Niro, one of their people.
Rob
outside the courthouse, and so this is really interesting. Entertainment and reality. A pair of the Washington D.C. cops that were there at the Capitol on January 6th, in order to refocus the presidential race and on the former president's role in the insurrection. And so that was really interesting. As they kind of go through the timeline and giving all this information, because there's an ish load of information that they had to kind of recapsulize and give to them before they lost their audience and fell asleep. And so soon it will go to the jury, and the judge has to give all of his directions. And so now the money is, how quickly do you think the jury is going to come up with a decision?
Right. Yeah.
I don't think it'll take too long. I honestly
think it's going to be a quick.
Yeah, I think so. I honestly think so. I think this is going to be quick. Do I know in what direction it's going to go? I don't know, but I do know if he's found guilty. From my understanding, Cam, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It doesn't. I don't know how much it affects him campaigning. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it doesn't take him off the ballot. It doesn't take him away from anything. It's just another mark on his resume that he doesn't care about, and we keep moving along.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, his holy grail is this presidential immunity thing that the Supreme Court is poised to weigh in on. And if our Supreme Court gives any kind of executive leader any kind of immunity to anything, I think we just lost our way.
Well, especially this president.
Right.
Yeah.
And this and for me, this one feels even more egregious just because if he is found guilty of this, right? This is actually, when it comes to campaign, this is actually a campaign issue.
Right.
So if you're found guilty of a campaign issue of messing with the money, then how can you still be able to run? That if it was another crime, somewhere else, like money laundering,
killing somebody, and
not even killing somebody, like you said, I can get away with that, baby. I got that. But it was another crime. But this actually has to deal with election stuff. Yeah. So I don't know how that works. But I know they're more concerned about what's happening in Atlanta than what's happening with this New York verdicts.
Which is why they're doing everything they can to get Fani Willis off the case. And what about you, Damon? Do you think they're going to come up with a quick decision verdict?
The way this country is so polarized, I'm sure that jury pool might be as well. So I think it's going to take a while. It's not going to be overnight. Because he's such a, some people feel he's being victimized in this because this is a petty case when he's done so many other things that he really should be, charged with. And they're like, oh, well, this is all they can get him on. I personally feel like he's guilty. I also feel like the audacity to propose an immunity of law that affects your current situation proposed by you. Like, that's just, come on, man. Yeah, that's, so it's a soap opera. We just have to see what happens, in my opinion.
It's a real life soap opera. Cameron, we're gonna let you close this one out. What do you think?
Yeah, a lot of what Donald Trump just so happens to be getting away with really just points to how unprepared our electoral process was to just like receive a dictator again on American soil. Our electoral process was just so almost with like rose-colored glasses that we didn't think that we would give birth to this kind of person. And now like the American democracy has to deal with that, and has to deal with that fast. And honestly, there's a lot of things about Donald Trump that you cannot discount.
And it always seems like we're playing catch up. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like,
Yeah, our electoral process is just like our airport security.
Yo.
Remember, back when we were every other country had machine guns and dogs, and you could walk people to the plane and buckle up in their seat and everything back then.
Right.
And so, yeah.
I actually think that like Donald Trump is probably the most impactful president that we've had. Of all time. Of all time. I'm not saying this in a good way, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But what I'm saying is he has shown the flaws of this country in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, I thought kind of showed how important local elections were. I think like he was like he didn't really want anything on his plate, so he always kind of said blame local. I'm like, oh, that's right. You know what I'm saying? That is more of a local. Because he didn't want. Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. That on me.
Yeah, send it to the state.
He sends it to the state. I can't do anything. That's a state thing. I'm like, I didn't know that. It really is a state thing. Okay.
And to Cameron's point, we've had these cracks in our system, but we finally met a fool that's willing to exploit them. And that's what you said. Right. Like nobody would even think to try to do some of the stuff he's thinking of. And it's almost
preposterous. It's like
impossible.
It's almost so preposterous that it almost made sense of why he was doing it.
Right.
He was like he like he said about the tax, like the tax breaks and everything like that. He's like, the rules are going to be manipulated. Yeah. I'm just doing what the rules say. My friend always says this about Donald Trump. Donald Trump gives a masterclass of marketing and business whenever he opens his mouth. Because the way he has manipulated the country, his followers, for he used the media to get into the presidency and then turned the country on the media. You know what I'm saying? He literally did that in like 1 year. 1 year, the media loved him, and then he turned everybody on them. So no one could trust anything. And he's been floating on that for the last 8 years, basically.
Yeah, once you undermine the confidence of people's belief in the integrity of media, then you just won't. So now he can say whatever he said, and that man, he's been very impactful, to say the least.
Yeah. But whatever charge that he makes against someone, it's actually he's looking in the mirror. As far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
Whenever he makes a charge against someone, it really is a reflection of who he is and what he's done or planning to do.
Yep.
In entertainment, Killer Mike spent the Memorial Day weekend with his Dungeon family. In a post on Instagram, Killer Mike, whose government name is Mike Render, wished Andre 3000 a happy birthday. Andre turned 49 on Monday and shared a group photo with Big Boy, as well as other photos showing his reunion with the two at the Dungeon. The post also included a tribute to the late music producer Rico Wade, who died last month at the age of 52. Just incredible. These young people that are dying. And some good news: Boston Celtics head to the NBA Finals. If you're a Boston fan, not here. They swept the Indiana Pacers. And wishing good luck to the Dallas Mavericks. They're up 3 games to none over the Minnesota Timberwolves. And to my friend Kendall, who is a massive Timberwolves fan, had his gear on Friday when I had a meeting with him. Sorry.
I'm hoping that they just extend the series a little bit, because the finals don't start until next Thursday. And there's nothing to watch until then. So if
you don't want to watch hockey, No
Man,
hockey?
if hockey, baseball, I really don't need to
You
see that
gotta,
right
you got,
now.
you got to start watching XFL.
UFL,
Okay.
UFL,
The
UFL not
UFL,
that
yeah.
bad. I actually watched it the other day because I was like, "There's really nothing on TV." Because there's only one game in a day on a Saturday, and you still want to play it at 9 p.m. Why?
Right.
Are you playing these games at 9 p.m. on a Saturday? We're home. It's a holiday week. We're home.
I'll tell you you know what else is funny that we didn't get to touch on just now. Sybil says it's a shame to see all these young people dying. And when you said Andre 3000 was 49, he was like, "Whoa, that's old."
It's just this
Cameron
is
was like, "Whoa."
He gave you that good. Damn.
As they say, keep living, Cameron. Keep living.
well. I'm just like around a lot of kids daily who just like don't know who Andre 3000 is. They
Yeah.
they don't consider Andre, even Big Boy, as part of just like the Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore. Of
That's a whole
rap.
generation away. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and R.I.P. Bill Walton.
That was my next one up.
Yeah.
And I know they don't know who Bill Walton is. You know, and to mention him, you know, as a deadhead and all that kind of stuff, people have no idea. But Bill Walton was a man of his time, and that
A
would
character.
be
One of my favorite
truly a character.
commentators. Like I didn't watch him playing, but to
watch
listen to him
work,
talk,
yeah,
it was hilarious to watch him and Steve Snapper Jones
Right.
would be cussing
Snapper
his ass
Jones.
out. What are you talking about, Bill?
Right.
Exactly.
And I always thought he would have made a great combination with the guys on TNT. You know, like in the Ernie Johnson suite, or with those guys with Shaq and them. I just thought that would have been an interesting combination. Did not see
It
that
would have been a
happen.
hilarious combination. I would love to have seen that.
Yeah. What the hell? We're going to close out with Yogi's Jewel. Believing in the inherent goodness of people promotes empathy and understanding, reducing conflicts and misunderstandings. So let that be the word today. Yeah, some more of that for real. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Khameron. Thank you, Damon. Thank you, Big Med. We will see you guys again soon. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Aloha.
Peace. Holla.